Today we're having a ball making some delicious holiday rum balls. Stay tuned. Welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. My name is Doug, and today we are going to make some delicious holiday rum balls. Okay, let's go through all the ingredients we're going to need and also supplies that we're going to need to make these delicious rum balls. First of all, we're going to need a mixer, a handheld mixer, and a bowl. You are going to need a strainer or a sieve. This is a bain-marie, and that's sort of like a water bath. That's what we're going to melt the chocolate in. So make sure we use, or double boiler, some people call it. So make sure that you have one of those to melt the chocolate. You can melt it in the microwave, but I always like using a bain-marie. I don't know, I just feel like it's better.
You'll need 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate morsels.
You're going to need a half cup of powdered sugar. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of light corn syrup, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla, half cup, here comes the good stuff, half cup of spiced rum. I'm using Captain Morgan's rum. You are going to need 3 cups of vanilla wafers. I'm using the mini ones because we're going to be breaking it up anyway. So I'm using the mini ones, but you'll need 3 cups of vanilla wafers and 1 cup of finely diced pecans. We're also going to put that in the food processor too and grind that up a little bit more. We have half a teaspoon of salt, and you're going to need some sprinkles. I'm using these chocolate sprinkles. They look like this, and that's what we're going to roll the rum balls in. Anyway, you're going to need a few more bowls, and don't forget that food processor. And I believe that is it. All right, let's start baking. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my vanilla wafers and I'm going to put them in my food processor. And I'm also going to get my 1 cup of the finely chopped pecans. And we're just going to grind those up together. Okay, perfect. So we're going to take this out. And I'm just pouring it into this bowl here. Now it's okay if some of your nuts is it's not so finely ground. I think it's better when it's has a little crunch to it. So don't worry about that. So we are done with our food processor. Let me show you, this is what it looks like. So you can see some of these nuts, they're not like totally fine. It has it's chopped very nicely, it looks just like that. So that's kind of like what you want, because when you bite into your rum ball, you want to taste a little bit of that nut, have a little bit of that texture. All right, now let's move on to our chocolate. Okay, in our bain-marie or double boiler, I just added some water at the bottom. And what we're going to do, we're going to put this on a very low flame. You want this on a very low flame when you melt your chocolate. You do not want to burn your chocolate. One thing that kind of helps a little bit with melting chocolate, I'm using Nestle chocolate. You can use any chocolate you want, but sometimes the Nestle doesn't melt as well. So I'm adding half a tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to add the chocolate. And we're just going to keep stirring that until the chocolate totally melts. Until the chocolate totally melts and it has a nice consistency. You can see that it's melting nicely, and you want to keep stirring it. You got to make sure all those morsels are totally melted, and you want a nice creamy mixture, just like this. It needs just a little bit more, but this is exactly how you want your chocolate. You want it nice and smooth, no bumps. So really give that a good stir. And this will take a few minutes on a very low flame, so just be prepared. But this is where you want to stop. See how this is like this? Take a look at that. That's exactly what you want. So let's turn this off. We're done with that. We're going to transfer our chocolate now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my chocolate now, and I'm going to put it in this bowl here. I want to make sure you get every bit of that yummy chocolate. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you're going to get your powdered sugar, and you're going to sift it onto the chocolate, and just sift it just like this. Why are we doing that? You really want to make the powdered sugar very fine, and using a sieve just helps with that. Remember, that was a half cup of powdered sugar. Okay, now we're going to add our 3 tablespoons of light corn syrup. We're going to do 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And we're also going to add, before I forget, my 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Pure vanilla. Yum. And we're also going to add to all that our half cup of the delicious Captain Morgan spiced rum. Yum. Now let's mix all that together. You want to make sure it's well combined. All right, and now we're also going to add, don't forget our salt. We're adding our salt to the wafer mixture with the nuts. I'm just going to use my fingers here, just quickly blend that together. And then we're going to add it to the mixture here. And just kind of mix that in. You don't want to overmix. I think that is good. See how that is? Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And we want to get this a little bit harder. Then we're going to form 1-inch balls and then roll it in our sprinkles. So stay tuned. So while we're waiting for our mixture that's in the refrigerator right now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Doug, what happens if you don't want to use real rum? Well, what you can use, and this is what my mom used to use a lot, is imitation rum extract. So you can use rum extract also in your mixture instead of using the Captain Morgan's, but it tastes better with the Captain Morgan's. But I remember my mom making rum balls, and I used to love her rum balls. Every Christmas, she'd make them, and I think she used the real rum for my dad, and then for us kids, she used imitation rum extract, I believe. And so anyway, I loved it. So we're going to wait for our mixture to get cool, and then we're going to form our rum balls. So stay tuned. Okay, so you ready to make our rum balls? Here we go. So very first thing you want to do is I'm using a little scoop. I think it just helps. I'm gonna take off my ring. And basically you're just gonna form about a 1-inch ball, approximately. And we're going to roll. I have two things here. I have sprinkles, chocolate sprinkles, and I also have nuts. And so I'm gonna roll some just in the nuts, and then I'm gonna put it on this parchment paper here just to set. So that's how I'm gonna make it. So just get a scoop, approximately, you want about 1-inch balls, maybe a little bit bigger. Roll it in your hand, very important you roll it in your hand to really combine everything, and then just roll it in the sprinkles. Just like that. And place it on. That one was a little bit bigger. So I think the first one I made is probably a better size, somewhere in between. So once again, just think about a 1-inch ball. All right, so right here, can you see that? That's a good size. Roll it in your hands, 1-inch ball, and then just roll it in the sprinkles and the nuts. All right. So we're gonna have some that have chocolate sprinkles and some that just have the nuts. And then roll it in the nuts. And these are so yummy. And these make really nice gifts too. You can give this to your friends or family members. All right, so I'm going to continue making my rum balls, and then we're going to have a taste test. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to have a taste test. Let's see what they taste like. They look great. Mmm. 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 Oh yeah. Mmm. That chocolate and that rum goes so well together. Oh my gosh, excellent. So make sure you leave it in the refrigerator. Probably leave it overnight so all those flavors really combine, and then you can package them and give them to your friends. Now you might say, well, how do you package them? Well, I have an idea. I got these little foil squares off of Amazon, and what you can do is here, I'll take one of these. You just get your rum ball and you just kind of just put the paper all around it like that, just like that. And can you see that? And then you can place them inside this little box. Now, if you don't want to, if you want them to actually show, use parchment paper and just place them in a little box like this. This one has a little cutout of a gingerbread boy, but there's different ones. And where do I get these boxes? You can find these on Amazon, or you could probably go to a baking supply company. They probably would have it, but I get mine off of Amazon. And there's these just really cute little boxes, and wrap it with a bow, ribbon, and and then you can give it to your friends. And I know that they are definitely gonna love these. Mmm. So good. Delicious. Thank you so much for joining us today on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy Healthy Living. Bye-bye.